Hello there everybody, it is me XFreezerBunny and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. So today we're building this nature themed tiny house called Minimalism. So basically this is a tiny studio home in the middle of nowhere, and it's basically designed for a single sim who loves the outdoors. If you want to, you can also fit in a couple in here as well. But as I was building this, I had in mind a single sim who loves being by themselves. So at the moment we are in Windenburg. We are in this 20 by 20 lot in the countryside of Windenburg. And I chose this lot because I just love the fact that this is surrounded by such beautiful nature, and I really wanted to utilize that aspect to complement this very modern minimalist house. So recently I've been doing a lot of complicated builds. So I wanted to do this simpler style, kind of like more minimalist, as kind of like a palette cleanser, I would say, just to have a little bit more variety on the channel. So this is what I came up with. It's kind of like an outdoorsy themed house, and I really enjoyed it. I had tons of fun, especially when it comes to the landscaping. You guys will be seeing a lot of that later on, and a lot of you guys did ask me to show off more landscaping in my previous builds, especially since all of the new landscaping items have been unlocked. So I'm really excited to be showing that off as well. So this is basically just a tiny square, except there is this kind of like decorative protruding bit on top of it, which I think gives it a little bit more interest. But overall I just went for something that was very minimalistic and kind of prefabricated, I would say, because basically the person living here, I imagined them to be kind of like a Japanese nature photographer. I don't know why I'm that specific, but that's just what came to my mind. I think this house does have a little bit of a Japanese aesthetic to it. As you can see, I'm putting these like wall partitions. These are from Moschino, and I'm putting them in a way which reminds me a lot of like Japanese architecture, so it's probably why. So yeah, as for the exterior, it's pretty basic. We're gonna be doing a little bit more exterior decorating later on. I will be changing the stilts, so you guys will be seeing that as we are completing this build, which is an interesting thing to point out because usually as I'm working on the interior, a lot of the exterior changes as well to match the interior design. So that's really important aspect to keep in mind as well. But right now we're working on this little kind of like toilet area, and I wanted it to be in this little corner, and basically I'm using these wall dividers from Moschino as like a sliding door detail. Obviously they don't work as sliding doors, but the sim can access that toilet, and the sliding door detail is just kind of like a decorative aspect, which I thought looked very Japanese as well. So I'm really happy that I was able to incorporate that. This isn't an off-the-grid house, and the main reason for that is because most of the off-the-grid compatible items that we have are in this more traditional rustic style, which really didn't match the whole minimalist aesthetic that I was going for this build. So if you guys want to, please let me know, and I will be happy to make an off-the-grid version of this house, even though I've already made like an off-the-grid tiny house. It's called the Eco Caravan. You guys should definitely check that out. It's one of my favorite builds I've built so far, and that one is totally off-the-grid compatible. So I'm doing this technique here of this wall partition. I saw this from Instagram, surprisingly enough. Basically they had these like light wood like wall panels, and then there's like these hanging plants from them, and I was just like really inspired I wanted a lot of light woods on the interior, so I thought that like decorative aspect fit in really well with the aesthetic that I was going for. You know, it's kind of like this eco, you know, indoorsy, outdoorsy thing that I'm trying to go for here. Initially, it was supposed to be a part of this desk, but I felt like it was a little bit overly designed. So in the end, I delete the desk that I placed there originally and I replaced it with this shelf, which I feel like is very, very minimalist. And I just sized down a dining table, plopped in a laptop in there, and believe it or not, this is a functional kind of like workstation slash dining area as well. I'm really happy with this composition that I came up with here. So yeah, I'm just hiding that size down dining table using those wall cabinets, and here I am putting in a window as well as like a cork board filled with postcards from all over the sim world, which I imagine are places that our nature photographer visited for his nature photography jobs. So yeah, I imagine like this would be a house he would take for wherever he's assigned to. Logistically, it's probably very impossible, but that's like what I'd like to think. You know, it's kind of like this really minimalist prefabricated home. So anyway, let's take a second to talk about all of the exciting things that have been happening recently. There's been a lot, by the way, but I think probably the most exciting thing that happened this week was the trailer release for the upcoming Realm of Magic. And I gotta say, I'm so hyped for this new game pack. I am such a huge fan of Supernatural for The Sims 3, so I'm really looking forward to Realm of Magic for The Sims 4, and it's gonna be great. I'm particularly looking forward to all of the new gameplay aspects, so yes, I'm really excited for that. It's been a while since I've been this excited for a pack, so hopefully it doesn't disappoint. Based on what I've seen from the trailer, I'm just super hyped for it. So yeah, overall the interior is just pretty basic, I would say. There's no closet. You guys are probably like gonna nag me for it, but there is a mirror for you to change your Sim's appearance, and to compensate for the lack of having a closet, I just put in those shelves that have clothes in them. I don't know, I just really like the design anyway. You guys also probably just saw me put in a little laundry area outside as well, which is hidden in a creative way by those like quote-unquote sliding doors I did on the outside as well. I put that TV in front of the bed, which I thought was a very interesting place to have it, and I put a gaming console, and I specifically chose that camo print to match the camo print on the camera, which is like a specialist camera, I believe, which you only unlock by reaching the maximum level of the like conservationist career from Island Living. So I haven't actually tried out that camera, but I'm assuming it functions exactly the same as normal cameras do. But this is the outdoor bathroom basically. And I thought that was a very interesting idea. We're gonna come back to that in just a little bit, but right now we're gonna change the exterior of the house slightly to accommodate this little platform I put for like a fire pit, and here I'm trying to figure out what stilts I was gonna use for the house. So I ended up using these stools or like chairs from Bowling Night. Is it Bowling Night? Yeah, I think it's Bowling Night. And I thought they worked amazing for the aesthetic that I was going for, which is kind of like this Japanese minimalism, if you guys know what I mean. So yeah, I'm really happy. By the way, this house looks like a freaking TV. Doesn't it look like a TV? Or it's just me? But yeah, here we are kind of like finalizing the design for this outdoor bathroom. To be honest, like, I think the person living here would probably spend most of their time outdoors anyway. Plus, we're literally surrounded by bodies of water, so I don't think it would be impossible for them to actually take a bath in those in real life. I wonder if the Sims team is considering making the area surrounding this lot swimmable. That's very interesting, because I feel like, if I remember correctly, I've heard them say they were working on making some parts of the other worlds swimmable, so that's going to be something to look forward to. But right now we're just working on the landscaping, and what's really interesting about this house is that most of the landscaping is just grass. Literally, it's just grass from the newly unlocked debug objects. Now, I did notice that some of these grass hedges were floating, so I kind of moved them around a little bit off camera, but overall, I really like the aesthetic. I'm not gonna lie, I do prefer the debug landscaping items from the actual landscaping items, because the actual ones kind of look a little bit plasticky now that we have all of these new like debug items. Plus, having these new landscaping items unlocked really makes this lot fit in with the world so much better. Like, as you guys can see, it's practically seamless. Now, this like plant, or like these grasses I'm using right here, are from cats and dogs, but most of the plants I used are from Get Together. I did use quite a few things from cats and dogs, so I will point those out when I use them. But these rocks, they're from Get Together, and pretty much everything else is from Get Together. They just had so many really good plants and foliage and stuff. But yeah, I've noticed this trend in modern architecture design and in like modern landscaping design where it's just grass, you know, and for some reason it just looks really nice and aesthetic. And not gonna lie, I'm one of those people who just really likes this whole minimalist aspect, you know, like I just like how it all looks overgrown and kind of like it was meant, it just grew from there, you know. I've been seeing a lot of photos of Scandinavian houses in like Iceland where it's literally just a really simple house and then it's just surrounded by acres and acres of grassland, and I thought that was really dramatic, and I was also trying to capture that in the landscaping for this build as well. But as for that bathroom, I really love the surrounding landscaping and how it's incorporated into the design of the bathroom itself. I don't think we have a never nude trait in The Sims 4. Remember, that was a hilarious trait from The Sims 3. Like, I don't think I've actually used that trait for any of my Sims. But yeah, I mean, it's a great place to have your Sim take like a mud bath and just relax after a long day of work, photographing this surrounding nature. So as you guys can see, there's like a lot of footage of me just doing the landscaping, so hopefully you guys can spot some techniques that you like, maybe see some items that you like as well, and hopefully you guys can learn something from my landscaping as well. But like I said earlier, most of the landscaping here is just grass. I think there's one tree there's literally one tree, and everything else is like grass and like heather and all of that good stuff. But like I said, it actually works really well because it looks like it's part of the surrounding area, which I really love. Oh my gosh, that driftwood is from Cats and Dogs, and it is so beautiful. That bush is also from Cats and Dogs as well, and it's just so beautiful. I just changed the stairs in this area just to make it look a little bit more outdoorsy, and I'm just placing in like a garbage bin and a mailbox in here as well. And the last thing I put is these pair of lounge chairs. There's a lot of space on that platform, so if your Sim has any particular skill like wellness, you can always put in like a skill item in there. But I think that's actually going to be it for this build. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please feel free to share and subscribe for more Sims 4 content. But other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it all up right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. You all have an awesome day. Enjoy the rest of the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.